Please keep their microphone muted unless you're speaking. And then when it comes time to do questions later, there is a raise hand function at the bottom of the screen. So I'll ask that you use that raise hand button, and then I'll call on each person individually so that we can make sure we're maintaining the call as well as we've all learned to do in the past 2 years. Matt, if you could go ahead and start recording, that'd be great. Okay, so this meeting is being recorded so that it can be replayed to people who are not able to make it to the meeting. I really appreciate everybody's flexibility in rescheduling this. We had a real COVID scare here, and so I didn't want to do that in person, and then we had a technical difficulty with the webcast last week. So thank you for, on short notice, making it to this meeting. We sent this out last Thursday, and looks like we got the mailing out. It reached everybody, but I'm hopeful that this recording will reach everybody who is in it and who has an interest in this. So kicking things off, I'm Emily Benedict, Metro Council member for District 7. That includes this area of Madison. And today we're here to talk about a property at 846 East Mead that's at the corner of Emmett and East Mead. And we're going to run through a number of different things, but mainly this is a presentation for Michael Roby, the applicant, and to run us through what his plans are and what he'd like to do so that we can begin to get community feedback and make sure that this is something that the community wants. This is where you live, and it's really important that what gets zoned there is something that you support. Matt, if you could please zoom out for me. I just want to give a lay of the land. This is an application that the city has called Parcel Viewer, and the red box is the parcel that we're talking about. You see that is on Emmett Avenue, and then the big white street, excuse me, is Gallatin Pike. Across the street from that is Madison Square, which is slated to be developed at some point in the future. I don't have a timeline on that. Now, Matt, if you could zoom back in. Just a little, just one. Back out, sorry. I want to just highlight that dark line around this block face. This is all zone CS, that's commercial services. And so today the zoning, even though there's residences on this block face on one side of East Mead, this is actually all zoned for commercial services. That happened in 1974. And so even though most of these are residences today, some of them are being used for commercial businesses, much like this property is today. The request that the applicant has that is to change this from commercial zoning to residential multifamily. And that would be RM, is what that residential multifamily. And that is because he's interested in building 8 townhomes. One of the neat things about going with residential zoning is that it does not allow any short-term rentals. So I'm thrilled about that. And the applicant could have gone in a direction that would have allowed short-term rentals, but he doesn't want that for our neighborhood. And so I suggested to him that he go this route, and he gave the commitment that that's the route he would go to make sure the neighborhood doesn't have those. Sorry for my throat here with that COVID scare. So what I want to do now is, one of the things I'm going to talk about later in the call is an overlay. There are some concerns in the community about historic homes. So I want to make sure that people know that there are some tools and resources available to them. That's outside of the scope of this call. But it is important that it's something that we can talk about, something that I've helped put into place in different areas of the district, and that I'm always making, I'm always interested in making sure the community has the homes that they'd like to have, the look and feel of their neighborhood. With that, we do have a number of attachments that Michael sent us today. And Michael, if you could give a quick introduction of yourself and then take us through, that would be great. And the one last thing that I'll say, folks, is that this is 500 feet from Gallatin Pike. Gallatin, you've told me time and time again that you don't want development back deep in the neighborhood. You want development to be on our pikes. So this to me is a great location for density. We just got to make sure that it's something that you want. I am here and I represent you, but this is exactly the type of location that you've asked for density to be, was right near Gallatin Pike, where people can use our resources, our infrastructure best. So I'm a fan of making sure we're using that infrastructure to the maximum ability. I'm a fan of taking this from commercial and making it residential so that we can make sure it's never has a commercial use. But I think that I think it's really critical that I hear from you. And if there's things and concerns that you have, I'm absolutely here to support you. And I just want you to know that that's where I am in the mindset that I bring to this. But I do have an open mind and I'm looking to make sure I represent you well. So with that, Michael, if you could go ahead and take us through, and then Matt has the controls over what documents you'd like to have open. We have the 3 images and then the Word document, or Matt, it's a PDF format now. So Michael, yep, can't hear you.
Okay, you got me? Great. My name is Michael J. Roby. I'm from Premier Home Health, where I'm the Chief Financial Officer. I'm here representing us as we try to rezone 846 to RM20. A little bit about our company. We've been in the Madison area. We started at on Dickerson Road and Myatt Drive in 1996. Then we moved to the 846 property in 2001. So we've been there for 21 years. We're transitioning right now to a different business model where we're going to use more automation and have employees work from home. So we're going to try to find office space with less square footage. And since we are changing, we requested that we rezone the 846 East Meade Avenue property to RM20A. We had a pre-meeting with zoning, and they suggested either OR20, which would be office residential, or the residential RM20, which is residential multifamily. And we thought that going from commercial to RM20 was the best thing for the neighborhood. As Councilwoman Emily talked about, the property is currently zoned commercial, and some of you know that we did have the property up for sale. You probably saw the for sale sign 2 years ago, right before the pandemic, and we did get a couple of offers at our price, and one was from someone who wanted to put a check cashing service there, and the other was for a barber and beauty shop. So we went and looked up what commercial services is, and they could actually put a warehouse or a factory there. So we thought about it.
Michael, if I could jump in, if
Yeah.
we could please, it looks like Todd Wellens and Bill, if you could please mute your phones, I'd appreciate it. We're picking up some background noise. Thank you.
Okay. I was saying that as it's zoned now, people come in with all kind of commercial business, whether it's manufacturing, warehouses, auto sales. So we thought that going with the RM20, and as Councilwoman said, and making it where you could even put Airbnb there, we thought that was the proper use of the land for Madison Community Plan. Our goal is to build townhomes there, up to 8. It depends on what we can get there. We are working with an architect and a site planning person to look at it and see what would be the best fit. These are going to be for sale, and it's for people who want to live and be part of the Madison growth. As we talked about, we're going to make them non-occupied, so you can't do Airbnb. And our plan is to provide upscale townhomes that the neighborhood can be proud of, and adds to the plan for the reinvestment and revitalization of Madison. Now is a simple sketch where if we could get 8 properties on there, you see 2 faced East Meade and 6 face Emmett. We don't know if this is exactly working this way. Like I said, we're in the process. If this goes through, we're in the process of having a site plan now. But if this goes through, we're not sure how we're going to get there. And I know there's been someone asked me about parking, and that's why I put unit garage parking there, because we'll be looking to have garages on each unit to help with parking. That's really all I have, unless there's another slide of the units that we're looking to build or something similar to that. We're looking to do something similar to this. We're not exactly sure how to fit, of course, if the zone is done. We're looking to do something in this style or maybe this style. Whatever we do, we're looking to be something that the community supports and it fits well in the Madison community plan. Right now, we're in the pre-design phase, because we don't want to go farther unless, the zoning is approved. But the architect firm we're using, these are two of the sites that they have built, and we're looking to do something similar.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Mhm.
So this is coming up for the Metro Planning Commission this coming Thursday, the 26th at 4 p.m. That's at the Sunny West Conference Center at Howard School. Want to make sure that we get that on your calendar, and I'll repeat that at the end of the call. But now what I'd like to do is open it up for Q&A. I especially would love your comments. Some of your questions may be for me, they may be for Michael. At this point, it's not abnormal for someone to have just a sketch for the rezoning. This is just a simple rezoning. It's not necessarily putting together a concept plan for for whatever is going to end up being built there. But this is what he would hope to build, and that the zoning would allow based on planning's initial feedback. Okay, I see a hand. And so if you have a question, please raise your hand. I see Cynthia that you have one.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. And since we're excited about new housing coming into the area, my question is, when you were talking about the garage parking at first, looking at this schematics, I was thinking it might be parallel parking, but you're talking about an elevated garage.
Yes, ma'am. We're talking a garage as the first level.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. And how many I mean, in each unit, are we talking about 2-bedroom units, or are some of them going to be 3?
We're thinking right now the majority are 3, but we thinking 6, 3, and 3-bedroom units and 2-bedroom units. Of course, it depends on the site plan and what can fit on the property. When
Yeah,
that says zone for 8, that just means you can put up to 8.
Wait.
yeah, I'm thinking 8 might be a little bit prohibitive in there, Michael. I'm not an architect, but my key concern, because we're directly next door to you all, we've had a great relationship for the last 10 years. But my thing is, how late would construction go? Would construction be on Sunday? What time? Because I mean, we want to have a little rest on Sunday afternoon, and we're right next door. Also, the other question is, there are a couple of you all's trees that abut almost directly on our fence and hang over, and I'm hoping those would be cut down. They probably would, just in terms of space. And how tall are these going to be? 3 levels or 2 levels? The condos.
They're okay. As far as the construction, I understand exactly what you're saying. I live in a neighborhood that's under construction. It does get to be nerve-wracking sometimes. What I'd say is this: whatever we don't have a contractor yet, but I am going to make that one stipulation that they use normal construction hours. Nothing real early and nothing late.
Yeah, and if I can
That's
just
the
jump,
bid.
oh, sorry guys, if I could just jump in here, there already are, so they would have to comply with the Metro Code for construction hours and noise. They are not allowed to do any construction on Sunday unless they get an exemption from the Director of Codes. And then the general hours for loud construction, so like things like jackhammering or things that have like a a 70 decibel noise, which is pretty much almost any commercial construction at this point, are generally restricted between the hours of 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., except during the months of June, July, and August, which they go to 8 to 6 to account for the added daylight since the days are longer. So outside of those hours, so from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. during the fall, winter, and spring, there shouldn't be any serious construction on site. And in the summer months between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m., it's the same thing. And then nothing on Sunday unless they get an exemption from the Director of Codes.
Well, do y'all have plans to ask for an exemption? I would hope not.
I will
No.
tell you, Vincent, the current Director of Codes I have it on good authority that he has not once ever approved a Sunday exemption. So I would fight one as well. I do not want anybody working on Sundays and disrupting our neighborhoods.
I've got a question. Once this goes through the process and everything, and we're assuming it's going to be approved, when would the works complete? Because basically you have to not move, but basically tear down the structures that's on the lot right now. The timeline, because you're going to be working with the architect or whatever for the design and everything. So I was just curious about that.
Yeah, well, we're not going to, of course, not do anything until after it's approved, of course. But as far as tearing the property down, I just had one of property torn down in another part of Nashville. It took a day and a half. So that won't take but 3 days to a week at the most, I'm assuming. And we wouldn't be looking to start the project until if it's assuming it's approved, to the fourth quarter of this year. So that's October, November, December, something like that.
Well, that's all my questions.
As far as those trees are concerned, we looked at that and we've noticed some of them, those trees are really old. We've noticed some of them will start rotting out and having problems. So I know why you're asking that. And we're assuming most of them are going to have to be taken down and we'll replace them.
Well, I don't have any problems with the development. It's fine with me. I just don't want somebody working out there in the middle of the night and all. So I get a little rest.
If they are, one of the things that we're trying to get in the budget this year, and that we're in budget season right now, is some nighttime inspectors for codes. So I don't know that we can get them right now, but we'd love to get them so that if anybody ever is out there doing that stuff, we can haul them in or give them a citation anyway, not haul them in. But I will not ever support anybody. Actually, the construction hours that Matt just rattled off, that's a bill that I wrote and that the council passed. So 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And in the winters, in the summers, June, July, August, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. If anybody's ever working outside those hours outside, you call my cell and let me know. I don't see any other hands in the air. Are there any other questions? And please don't be shy. This is, you'll have the opportunity to talk on Thursday at the Planning Commission if you want to go to that. You also are welcome to email the planning commissioners. You can email me or you can call me. I'll give you all of that information in just 1 second, but let's first see, are there any other questions? Oh, Cynthia, you've got another one? Yep. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Okay. No, excuse me. I just have one other question. Once they start the construction to level the lot and everything, we will be notified. Will it be by mail or by phone call or whatever?
So you will, when a permit's pulled, there will be a sign. Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
Well, actually, I was going to tell her that, of course, I would come by and let you guys know long before that. But as you can go ahead now, Councilman. I don't know the proper procedure for it, but as a neighbor, I would notify you.
And that's, you know, and that's the good neighborhood partner that, you know, we're glad that you are, Michael, that you're thinking about everybody as you work on this. The the city does put up a sign, and they, you know, he'll have to get a permit for it. Now, no mailers go out for the permit themselves, but you do get the sign in the yard that notifies you that construction's about to start.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't see any other questions.
Um,
So, sorry, go ahead.
Um, if anybody wants my email address, I'd be more than happy to give it to them.
I was gonna see, is there a chat? Can everybody see the chat if I
Mm-hmm.
just type test?
Okay.
Matt, is it planning commissioners at nashville.gov?
I believe so. It's either planning commissioners or planning commission. Let me see.
Thank you.
It is planning.commissioners@nashville.gov.
Thank you. Okay. I just put the contact information in the chat. Michael, what's your, are you able to type in the chat?
I clicked on it. I didn't get anything. Let's see.
I can type it in if you want me to.
Okay. It's mjroby@aol.com.
So mjroby@aol.com.
Yes. So
Okay.
if anyone has any questions or any additional questions, I'd be more than happy to try and answer.
And so in the chat, just because this is being recorded, I think the chat will show up. But if not, you can email support or opposition to me at emily.benedict@nashville.gov. That's emily.benedict@nashville.gov. You can reach me on my cell phone, 615-585-1258. And then you also can email the planning commissioners. The meeting is this Thursday. It'd be great if you reference the case number, which was on the letter that was sent out. I don't unfortunately have that for the call right now, but you could also just put this address in the subject line, 846 East Mead, and send your opposition or your support, whichever one you're wherever you are on this, to planning.commissioners@nashville.gov. Sounds like, you know, we've got some folks that showed up, and I know that some folks will be watching this, and I really look forward to hearing everybody's feedback. And I think it's again a great location for us to get some added density, to have people living in this location 24/7, and really a neat and good looking product that I think is going to really enhance our neighborhood as people transition from the commercial corridor Gallatin into our residential neighborhood. So I really think this is a good thing. I hope that you do too. As I said at the start of the call, I will support this based on your support. So I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have opposition, I need you to let me know. If you have support, I want you to let me know as well. I hope to hear from you soon, and we'll go ahead and wrap up the call. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.